Well, we're looking at now at the pics and ban screen, and the first map was actually going to be Insomnia. Nice, I think we might actually get to see Insomnia this time around, it seems. So it's going to be Anarchy from cha1n, a very strong champion in Insomnia, and a really good counter for it as well. maxter going with the Ranger. Second map, Ruins of Sarnet, it's going to be light champion battle. maxter with the Slash and cha1n with the Nyx, one of cha1n's best champions as well. And the last match, a bit of a weird pick for cha1n there. Galena going versus a Strog.
Yeah, this is not normally a matchup we normally see ever going on to Blood Covenant. If we do see Blood Covenant, it will be the first time we've witnessed it on stage here this weekend, but at least we're going to witness Insomnia for the first time especially. We've had it in a few map threes, but sadly they did go to a 2-0 series, but it's going to be a very interesting one itself. First map is going to be Insomnia in this best of three. maxter playing as the Ranger with cha1n going in as the Anarchy, and we're going to see how this is going to unfold shortly, as there's going to be an absolute cracker of a series. The winner will be facing against Razy in the winners final soon enough.
Speaking of Razy, I was asking both him and Zanaku their predictions for this game, and Razy said maxter seems to have the upper hand statistically, so I guess he's favoring maxter in this matchup. And then I asked Zanaku, and he said, well, I think cha1n will win 2-0.
Okay. So,
not that close.
No, not at all. That's
very different opinions, but I guess the differing opinions only means that this game is actually very balanced in the end.
Certainly is indeed, as we're going to get into our first map on Insomnia. Starts off from maxter's POV. They're warmed up, they're ready to go into the second winners semi-finals. Winner gets Razy in the winners finals, and this has guaranteed them a top 3 finish guaranteed. As maxter does pick up the roller straight away, then followed by the heavy. It's laid it a little bit, but cha1n definitely heard the cue for that and has the timing for it also.
Yeah, maxter already doing damage with his best weapon, the rail. And oh, that's true. Yep. Oh my god, he's already landed 3. He might go for the shotgun to finish, but the shotgun completely misses from maxter. I think maybe he should have gone for another rail if he was hitting them, right? But yeah, that shotgun finish did not favor him at all. He just absolutely missed the shot, and cha1n gets away with his first kill. You're not wrong at all, gets away with murder there. cha1n, first blood within the 1 minute mark. Still got a good stack to work with, still able to continue to pile on the pressure. Just keeping that light protected whilst the items are coming up. Only a couple of seconds apart between the two. Mega will be up first though. We're going to see what cha1n is going to prioritise. It depends where Max is going to be on the map. You can see already that Max is just teaching around the map. Oh, that was perfectly timed as well. And you saw there, as he threw the orb, he was only going to port through only if he hit that last rail, which he did, and was able to clean up the kill. Beautiful stuff there from maxter. And come out with a machine gun, doing a lot of damage actually, considering maxter finally finishes off with the rockets. But the problem is he's so weak, and he needs to be careful in case cha1n does decide to trade, but he won't after that first rail from maxter. Yeah, I think we have a good contender for RMV in the best rail department, as maxter keeps landing those rail shots. And as he said, the last frag was a very good TP play there from maxter with the orb. Oh my god, even the tribal is hitting, and the rail to finish it up. Seems the only thing he isn't hitting was that one shotgun, because everything else just absolutely connecting. He'll allow cha1n to steal the heavy, but he steals away all of the stack right after, and even the flick rail at the end, because that was a very hard shot, because cha1n did use the air dodge there to try and move out of the way, but maxter adapted perfectly.
Certainly did indeed. Maxter's trying to the direct afterwards. That's going to be a cause for concern here for cha1n.
I like that maxter is going more aggressive now, just trying to do some damage at the heavy. He's able to do some, and I think this warrants... Oh, he misses a shotgun again. So maxter, he's hitting absolutely every shot. Only the shotgun doesn't seem to be quite connecting for him, because if he was hitting, he would be winning by 2 more frags at least.
Yeah, the shotgun doesn't seem to be his best mate at the moment, but the everything else definitely are, and the direct rocket earlier on, but good counter-attack there from cha1n. So it needed at least a bit of chip to just at least keep maxter away, or just keep him at bay for now, as we're just hitting the 3 minute mark, as cha1n just teetering in with the LG. Manages to claim the heavy in the end. He's going to try and finish up the LG. Does he? No, he clears up the rail anyway. 3-0 in favour of maxter, looking so good. Trying to counter for the Mega as well. Will he better clean it up with 11 HP? Yes, he does. He does burn the Mega, but the problem is for cha1n now, even though he got that first frag, he's super weak from that last bout.
Did you see the patience of maxter there with the shotgun, knowing he's not hitting that well with that weapon? He just patiently waited for his shot, so that he knew he was going to die, and just tried to do max damage so that after he dies he can go back to applying pressure. Speaking of pressure, where is he, cha1n? He's he's finding it a bit weird that maxter isn't here to try and do any damage or pressure at this heavy, but they're just going to completely trade items.
Maybe Max didn't have the timing for it, maybe he wasn't in position, maybe he decided to go for the Mega instead due to it being only 5 seconds apart. Now just change the circling around to see what you can find. Click on those hourglasses, the injects later on. Good rail there from maxter, backing away again.
Oh, that's a heavy for maxter. cha1n forced to get out of there. Not sure if he's even going to be fast enough to go for the Mega. Position. Oh, maxter does use the orb eventually to get both of the items himself. But oh, he didn't get the heavy earlier. It's still up there. And oh, he almost hit that shot actually. So maxter actually went for the Mega. And
oh,
yeah,
the shotgun straight afterwards.
And now he's hitting the shots. And now that he's hitting the shots, it's starting to get very hard for cha1n as the score now goes 4-1. And maxter knows Mega is the next item up. He's waiting even for the light armor. And there's enough time for him to go for the heavy after. cha1n not really able to delay him any longer. And he even picks up yet another light armor and tries to do a little rocket jump. Can he get the kill? There's the orb. And no, cha1n actually hits 200 shotgun blasts to try and close the gap.
Good first rail there through the TP from cha1n. Now Mega will be up in 7 seconds. May have time to contest a heavy also if he gets there quick enough, but again depends on the positioning on maxter. Holding the angle at the moment. cha1n just waiting for him in case he tries to stop him from picking up that last light. Does some tri-bolt damage as he picks up the heavy, but oh, okay, a little bit more damage from maxter as well, just to keep cha1n on his toes. Just looking to see exactly where he wants to go and where he wants to rotate round next. Still has the weapons all in his arsenal. Uses the inject early. He's going to see if he can tickle maxter just a tad with the LG. Not going to go for the TP. Doesn't want to be too predictable. He's actually going to delay it instead and hits that first rail. That was huge. And this could be a chance for cha1n to try and get this third frag.
Yeah, I mean, just delaying the TP entrance for a little bit and then going in with and hitting that flick shot just gave cha1n all the control he could need. And maxter immediately trying to go for defensive positions, and cha1n rocket jump up, which is fine. Maxter hits him and he just goes back in. Gets that light and then gets position again. But maxter keeps landing these shots. And cha1n was actually... Oh my god, how does maxter keeps landing all the shots? He got no items for the last minute, but just rail after rail after rail. He's the one to collect the frag.
It's not like he's got piercing sights, is he? Just making extremely good reads on where cha1n is going to go. cha1n now just trying to look to survive. Max is only trying to survive himself on 14 HP. Has picked up the heavy, but he's still railable as cha1n does clean up there. Now 5-3 still in favour of maxter. Only a 2 frag deficit for cha1n. Still plenty of time for him to bring this back. Mega will be up next in the next 5 seconds. Looking to see where maxter could be. Has a feeling that he's going to start approaching the Mega any second. That was a good read. Doesn't hit the rail sadly, but at least it keeps him away just a tad. Maybe enough time to get this heavy, we'll have to see. But he does have the height advantage, depending on the rotation and Max is going to make, as he has been standing up top trying to get a bit of trouble damage every single time. But cha1n has progressed to the heavy, not this time round though.
And most of the weapons they've been using have been just the rail and the shotgun. Mostly the rail. I wonder if maxter will be able to collect this Mega as well. He is. Takes a little bit of damage for his troubles, but lands the rail right after, obviously. And puts himself on a good position to defend the heavy as well. cha1n, he wants to go through, but going through the choke point is a little harder, but he does hit the rocket in the end, and that's 5-4 right before the heavy spawns. Then he might get a spawn frag as well. Should be an easy one to get. And there it is, cha1n tying up the game 5-5 with the Mega about to spawn.
Yeah, sadly maxter dropped down for the heavy a little bit early. Tied at 5 apiece.
cha1n land the shot.
Down. Yeah, will he be able to? The question, he's only on 31 HP, needs to back away. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome too much.
Yeah, not quite able to land the shot. And that might cost him the heavy as well, as maxter already here pressuring. And maxter,
I love that as well. He knew the heavy was coming up. He decided to put the orb so early as he's picking up the heavy just to make cha1n think twice about his actions and just at least try and be as proactive as possible, pick up the heavy whilst at the same time.
You know the craziest thing about that was maxter's last rocket as well. He had no more weapons besides that. He only had that one rocket and he made the play with it.
It's a problem maxter had last year with his ammo management, one of the small minor pieces to his puzzle, but he managed to fix that throughout this year. And this time around, you're right there, at least that one rocket which he had left on the table was able to dish enough damage in order to take down cha1n. Good rail again from maxter, now up by 2 frags. cha1n's in a bit of trouble here. Hasn't got the weapons maxter has, is still looking to put a bit more pressure on before trying to contest for these items, but Mega's coming up next few seconds. Heavy will follow suit 10 seconds afterwards. He has time to go for both.
Rails.
It's ridiculous.
It's disgusting to see, really. There's no way in for cha1n if maxter just keeps landing these shots.
They're going to try and finish up on cha1n, but knows that the heavy is up. In no point prioritising the frag there, considering both of them were on equal stacks at the time. 1 minute left remaining though, 2 frag deficit for cha1n still. He needs to try and find an opening here, needs to get some chip damage done quick and get that item control in order to tie with maxter's scoreline. But will he be able to, as maxter's still got positional advantage here, managed to pick up the Mega. This is not looking good for cha1n at the moment, as he needs to really do something quick, needs to do something soon, especially in the next 20 seconds, because if not, then we could be seeing the first map victory here for maxter.
Yeah, this heavy push might dictate how the game is going to go in. cha1n does get the heavy, but he's taking a lot of damage. Thankfully for him, maxter does not land the final rail there. So cha1n, a bit of an opportunity. 20 seconds to go, does not land the shot. He really needed that, and now maxter sees an opening to close out the game, and there it is, 8-5, and that might be the GG, as both players call it.
It certainly will be mathematically impossible now for cha1n to try and do anything here, shape or form. As they've realised that already.
Gentleman's agreement.
Literally.
We said GG at 8-5, so we will keep it 8-5.
Yeah, we will. Nice little fist bump at the end. So, GG's both players. Maxter comes out victorious in that first map in this best of 3. We'll have to see how cha1n is going to follow suit in the next map. It's nice to see Insomnia for the first time on the main stage here, and it could be the first time we see Blood Covenant, depending on how map 2 is going to go.
Yeah, I mean, but the way maxter is hitting, there might not be a map 3, because maxter just keeps landing the shots. The only thing he missed was like the 2 initial shotgun blasts, but after all that, as we're going to see in the replays, he just started landing rail after rail after rail.
Kind of a curse, really, isn't it? You hit the hard ones, but you can't miss the... Well, he seems to miss the easy ones here. Maybe just a little bit impatient with the shotgun, but you could say he corrected that anyway later on in the match-out.
Yeah, then after that, he started being very patient with the shotgun as well. Just completely started hitting everything with everything. It's very hard to go up against that, right? Because he's also a very smart player. He has a kind of way of playing the game, as you said. It looks like he's playing with piercing sight. Because even when he's moving around the map, he's usually keeping his crosshair in like the enemy general direction, so that he gets the sound cues directly coming for him, and it really makes him be very positionally aware.
Style points and holding the correct angles. It's just good reads overall, and this is what I like about Max as well, especially this year. Every single year, ever since he made it into the Pro League, his adaptation has improved more and more over time, and that's just purely from dueling experience. Quake is a game you can't expect to have that much, good adaptation like from the get-go. It does take years of experience to be able to just in general just improve as a player, and you can have all the aim skill, you can have all the rotations in the world, but if you don't adapt to what your opponent's doing, there's absolutely no way you can contend with some of the best players here in the Quake scene, and it's nice to see Max to be able to adapt so well over time, especially over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and as we're talking a lot about adaptation, and that's because there's a lot of new weapon-coming players that weren't around being Quake pros 5 years ago. And even in this tournament, we have maxter, we have cha1n, we have Razy, we have RMV, and these are all players that now are, some of them are, established legends of Quake, but 4 years ago, we didn't know much about them at all, and they've all grew so much as players, and it's great to see.
Certainly is indeed. Just looking at the final moments of this replay, you can see here that even though cha1n made a great comeback going down from 2-5 to 5-all, it was maxed in the end with some hard-hitting rails, some good positioning, some great contention. But I kind of feel like as well, during the moments where cha1n was able to start catching up, it was the missed timings from the heavy from maxter on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
He was able to contest it a couple of times with the tri-bolt earlier on with height advantage, but the problem was the fact that he didn't have the exact timing, and there was a good example of that when he dropped down with that LG bout. But it seemed like when he was able to get timings on both the items, he was able to continue to control and abuse the mobility, he was perfectly fine from there with the orb.
Yeah, maxter isn't someone that focuses a lot on timings, as we were talking about. He focuses a lot more on position and weapon control. That's where he really shines. When he has to make a play based on the timing, that's when we can start seeing maybe some opportunities for his opponents to catch up to his score and to get a couple of frags on him.